Thank you guys for being here today. It's a very, very special day for all of us at New Joan. Doug would like to welcome you, so I'm doing that on his behalf. And so happy to see you coming in and looking forward to your comments and reactions and so forth. Some plays can be workshopped by a simple reading. People sit in chairs and they do a cold read, which means when you come in, if you're performing or reading, you get handed the script. That's the first time you've seen it. It's very helpful to the author if you critique the show and you were handed some information, and one of the sheets in there is just a simple critique. It's very helpful. This show relies on physical comedy, so we are presenting a read walkthrough. This presentation has not been heavily rehearsed, and the actors have not memorized their lines. I'm going to read stage directions and do a sound effect. So don't critique that. Just say use the real thing, not Debbie. So when you critique it, you're like an editor on a written word. And Joan would love to see this today. Her last show, this one, Intervention, was finished last year, and Theater de Mississippi in Winona is hoping to perform it this spring. So watch their Facebook for information and updates on that. But most importantly, Joan would want you to have fun. After all, as a famous quote, the play is the thing. Helen is Leonard's mother. She's in her 60s, the mother of the 3 adult children. She dresses something that's dressy, but sometimes dated. She has the same hairstylist that has been giving her all the mature clients the same style, and Helen is no exception. Angela is the youngest sibling. She's in her late 20s or so. She is stylish, a perfect suburban homemaker and mother. Jordis is Leonard's wife. She's in her maybe 40s. Helen's daughter-in-law, she is. She wasn't motivated to get dressed up for this dubious event, but neither could she bring herself to offend by being too casual. She's a bit short-tempered by this afternoon's turn of events. Martin is in his 30s or so. He wears ripped jeans, dirty athletic shoes, and a faded shirt. He's given a nod to the occasion by wearing a tacky suit jacket. Dr. Adam Ransom is a psychiatrist and wears the usual tweed coat, bow tie, white shirt, and acts like the professional he is. At Rise, we see Leonard's living room.
Where is he? He's late. I told you 2 o'clock, didn't I, Jordis? You did tell him, didn't you? Of course you didn't. My request was probably too simple. I don't know why I cannot depend on any member of this family.
Mother.
You forgot to tell him, didn't you? Here we are, all sitting around wasting our time because you forgot to tell Leonard it was 2 o'clock.
Mother.
You know how important this is to me. Just a simple time reminder, that's all you had to do, Jordis. And did you do it? No. You'd rather see me sitting here all afternoon when I could have been enjoying my bridge club.
Mother.
What?
Will you please just calm down? You're making my sinuses ring.
I don't care if your sinuses are ringing the Hallelujah chorus. Where is Leonard?
Helen.
What?
I didn't forget, and he's not late. You're early. Why don't I go get some coffee and cookies to fill in the time?
Cookies! No cookies.
Geez, Mother, what, did I suddenly become 3 years old again?
As long as we're waiting, we might as well have some coffee and cookies. Unless you want me to get out some board games, Helen.
Homemade cookies, I bet.
No cookies. Now, Jordis, sit down and be quiet.
Homemade cookies, Mother!
Get your mind off the cookies and stay focused. If Leonard is not late, why isn't he here? All I want is to get this intervention done as inconspicuously as possible. Is that too much to ask? My oldest son is behaving like a fruitcake, and I want to knock some sense into his head. Is that too much to ask? Jordis was supposed to tell him 2 o'clock. Is that too much to ask? Leonard was supposed to be here at 2 o'clock. Now, is that too much for a mother to ask? I ask you. Is that too much for me to ask?
For pity's sake.
No, it's not too frigging much to ask. Crap, look at that. Look at the time. It's a way past 2. Your fruitcake is not coming. He stood us up. We might as well leave. Let's go.
If I may offer...
I did not forget.
Hey, what's your hurry?
My hurry, dear sister, is I want to get out of here. I am freaking embarrassed to be here. This is Leonard's house, and we're sitting here uninvited, planning a sneak attack on him, giving him an offer he can't refuse. Wouldn't you just, be happier if we just cleared out?
Frankly, I worry all of this will hurt his feelings. Why don't we forget about an intervention and have a nice visit instead, as long as you're here so early?
This intervention is for his own good.
Who says? If my brother wants to be a fruitcake, that's his business. Why should we try to knock some sense into his head? I don't think I have any more sense in my head than he does in his. Who am I to criticize? Who are we to know better? Do you think any of us knows better?
I better not say what I think.
If he comes here now and sees us all waiting here to tell him how superior we are, I am going to be terminally embarrassed. Can't we just take a clear-eyed look at what we're doing here and get out before he discovers what morons we are? Let's go. I just want us to go.
Actually...
Don't listen to him, Mother. It's not even 2 o'clock yet.
Oh, it's not?
We still have a lot of time to outline a plan. How we present our feelings is very important. The order of the speeches and the increasingly weight of our logic has to convincingly overwhelm Leonard.
Oh, crap. That's just like you. You won't be happy if you can't run your life without an outline. How do you remember all of your outlines? I mean, why the frick do we have to make an outline? Let's just can the outline and then leave.
We mustn't be
Someone as irresponsible and uncoordinated as you are can't possibly understand the value of planning your actions to ensure successful outcomes.
Do you even listen to yourself, Angie? Ensure successful outcomes? Do you really talk like that at your house? I mean, do you know what ensure successful outcomes says to me? It says you have the handle of your broom shoved where it interferes with your flying.
Maybe some small sandwiches and tea would kill the time a little better.
Jordis, will you stop thinking of food? We're on a mission here and can't be distracted.
I need sandwiches.
No
Maybe
one needs
6
a
of them.
sandwich. No one. Now sit down and stop being so ridiculous. There's no need for refreshments. Now, where is Leonard, Jordis?
He said he was going to the zoo to listen to the lions and to count the red-ended baboons. But he is aware of the time, and he will be here at 2, Helen.
Sandwiches?
Oh, hush up. You sound like a begging dog. I'm sorry you have to wait, Dr. Ransom. Are you comfortable? I tried to pick a comfy chair, but that was the best I could do. I tell Jordis to go to Vanderburg's, but does she listen to me? No. Maybe a pillow?
It's
Oh,
fine.
here we go. Why don't you stand up for just a moment?
Oh, all right. Really, Mrs. Phillips, you don't have...
Now sit down again.
It's going to confuse him.
Confuse him? About a chair?
Confuse him as to whether he's only seeing Leonard or whether he's harboring an additional nuthatches in the family.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
Oh my sinuses are gonna explode.
Oh, hush up. Your sinuses ring whenever you're going to whine.
Whenever she.
I don't whine.
Yes, you do.
Do not.
Oh, excuse us. The whining sound must be your sinuses whistling.
You would whine too if you had to put up with what I put up with.
Oh, Lord, lay it on us. What awful tortures do you think you put up with in your indulged life?
You.
Funny, I thought you were your charming children would be first on the list.
I don't put up with my children. They are angels.
Of course. And what were their names again? Sneaky, snotty, and selfish?
Mother, could you please?
Martin, just this one time, could you behave respectfully to your mother?
Sister.
And your sister. Nikki, Scotty, and Idalis are very nice children. All things considered.
Mother!
How many times have I explained how important this afternoon is?
I think I've lost count.
And look at you. You look like a homeless person. Your shoes are full of holes. Your knees are sticking out of your ripped in your trousers. Your shirt's been ironed and it's missing buttons. Oh, your socks. Is this the way you dress to impress your brother?
Mother, I don't see. I don't know how to answer that question. Are we planning to discuss the way my brother dresses to impress me?
Yes. Yes, we are. Mr. Worthless, that's why we're here. But as long as you're waiting, let's discuss you. Do you have a job yet? Do you have any decent clothes?
He begs on the street, Mother. He sits on the sidewalk and plays his violin for loose change.
You see there, Mother, you and Dad were right. Those violin lessons came in were a very damn good investment. Besides, I only do it on weekends.
And he picks rotten food out of the dumpster.
You don't.
I don't. Angie's being creative.
Dr. Ransom, look at him. You're a professional. What is your assessment of his mental stability? Is there any hope for anyone who is that far gone?
Mrs. Phillips, I'm here to offer my opinion of your older son's delusion, not the whole family.
Why are you being difficult? I'm paying you for your time. You're sitting here taking up my time. I'm expecting some value for my money.
Mrs. Phillips, I cannot just whip up a diagnosis off the top of my head. These things take time.
I simply don't understand what your problem is. How long does it take to see a man is catching hallucinations?
Leo is not seeing things, Mother. It's not hallucinations.
Have you looked at him lately?
But actually, if it is some kind
A
of...
psychosis! I looked it up. He's catching psychoses.
People don't catch psychoses. Do you work at being the shortest knife in the friggin' drawer? I mean, it's not like a cold you can catch from the UPS man. Leo is having an immense amount of fun giving into a simple aberration and watching his nearest and dearest turn blue as they twist their undies too tight.
I was going to suggest...
Well, don't. Leonard is not having fun, Martin. He's in a great deal of emotional pain. He's my son, Dr. Ransom. I ought to know what's wrong with him. He's got hallucinations.
I think it may be a little more serious than that, Mrs. Phillips.
Well, how much more serious can it be if he's seeing things? Why do I pay you if you just sit there saying the wrong thing?
Really, Mrs. Phillips? You do not pay me
All of you listen, because I am not going to say this again. He's got hallucinations.
Fine.
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 Where is Leonard? He's late.
He isn't late, Helen. You're irritatingly early.
He knows perfectly well that when I say a time, it means a half an hour before that.
Well, as long as we have an extra half hour built into the schedule, why don't I make a platter of sandwiches and some coffee?
Yes.
We don't need sandwiches. Jordis, sit down. Martin, you sit down. And Dr. Ransom, sit down. Sit. Leonard could be here any time now, and we don't want him to walk in and catch all of us feeding our faces. He is going to be here at 2 o'clock, isn't he, Jordan? You did remember to tell him the time.
Yes, Helen, I remembered to tell him the time.
Well, where is he?
I told you what he told me, Helen. He was going to the zoo to listen to the lions and to count the red-bottomed baboons. And he would be back at 2 o'clock.
Why is he at the zoo? Do lions grow in zoos?
Only an idiot would ask that. Lions grow in Sahara Africa.
So then why are they living in zoos?
They're here for political asylum. They voted for the wrong party.
That's not nice. You're just trying to make me look stupid. If lions grow in Africa, why doesn't Leonard go there to listen to them instead?
And you will be volunteering to give him a ride to work every morning, sister?
I wasn't thinking.
Well, however, to educate you further, big game hunters who are looking for trophies, we drove lions and several other species to the edge of extinction. So now there are almost none in their natural habitat. The lions you see in the zoo are probably clones, but they will just as soon rip you apart and eat you. Does that answer your question?
You don't have to be mean about it.
Believe me, I'm not working at being mean. You're doing such a good job all by yourself. Next you'll want to know why baboons have red bums.
Well, why do they?
Martin, this is your sister.
Believe me, I have been woefully aware of that relationship for the past 27 years. All right.
All right, now, pay attention. I have these guidelines on how to perform an intervention. We can go over them while we wait. Jordis, Leonard doesn't know we're having an intervention, does he?
No.
All right, then. Here are some guidelines. If someone you love is struggling with destructive behavior...
Mother, that's what you don't understand. Leonard is not struggling. The snot likes what he's doing, and he doesn't care if people think he's lost his mind.
Well, for once, we agree. The bum and the nitwit.
Are you trying to get a reaction from me? All right, I'll give you a reaction.
Hey!
Angela, stop it! Let him go.
Boy, come on, enough already.
You can just go to hell, Mother.
Come on.
As I was trying to say...
Well, just leave me alone. Someone needs to shut his stupid mouth.
I am going to continue. Destructive behavior. Staging an intervention might be the best way to help the person get better. Item 1. Consult with a professional who has experience helping addicts and conducting interventions. Dr. Ransom is a professional psychologist, and he's here to help us with Leonard.
Well, what's the difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist?
Now, Angie, don't fuss with the details.
No. Mrs. Phillips, I would like to answer this. The difference, Mrs. Levitt, and I'm going to reduce this to the simplest terms, is that...
Good idea.
While we both deal with the human mind and a person's behavior, a psychologist uses cognitive tests and the study of thinking to assist the patient in finding and surmounting his or her deviations. A psychiatrist could do all of this, but also has a medical degree and can write prescriptions to address deviant behavior caused by the physical defects.
So, is a psychiatrist better than a psychologist?
Angie, that is not a polite question.
That depends on how you look at it. Now, if your bicycle chain was bent, would you take your bike to a bicycle mechanic or a Mercedes-Benz mechanic?
So we're assuming Leonard's mental chain is bent?
That isn't the... It's not the weirdest analogy. It seems that remains to be seen. If Leonard has become convinced that he isn't Leonard, but something else, well then, I can be very helpful. If his skewed thinking is because there is a chemical imbalance in his body, well then a psychiatrist would be able to detect and prescribe for him.
Now, well, can we get back to the guidelines?
Yes. Sorry.
I'm going to read only part of these because we don't have time for all of them. Assuming that Leonard gets here in time. Item 2. Form an intervention team of a small number of people the person in question respects.
That wipes us all out right there.
If you can't be quiet, can you at least
cut out all the juvenile sniping that you think is so humorous.
just try to keep your mouth shut.
Me?
No, him. Item 3. Find the right treatment plan. Just telling the person that you think there is a problem isn't enough. You should lay out a treatment plan that the person can begin right away.
So what is your treatment plan for Leonard? Quit?
It seems to me that that should be good enough. I mean, if Angela here had a big stick and she was hitting you over the head with it.
Jeez, Mother, don't give her any ideas.
All right, this is just hypothetical, sweetheart. Don't hit Marty with a stick. My point is just saying, quit hitting Marty with a stick should be a sufficient treatment plan.
And you're going to tell Leonard to quit acting like a fruitcake and that should be the end of it?
Well, Leonard's not unintelligent. Simply asking him nicely to change his silly pretense ought to make him see the error of his ways.
Uh-huh. And how much are you paying Dr. Ransom to sit there while you solve Leonard's condition in 10 words or less?
We should be careful not to jump
What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that according to you, you're paying Dr. Ransom to do nothing.
Oh, no. We have to have Dr. Ransom here for the intervention.
Angie, please hit me on the head with the stick. Mother's starting to sound sane. Mother, you just explained that you can cure Leonard all by yourself. So why are you planning an intervention?
Well, for a backup plan, of course. In case Leonard's too far gone and now has an untrained brain, like a you-know-what.
What if Leonard's untrained brain goes completely you-know-what, ignores the restraints of civilized you-know-what, and decides to you-know-what all the interventionists?
Oh, dear.
Will you quit talking foolishness? Leonard wouldn't do that.
You're right. Not being an unintelligent Leonard would no doubt find us ridiculous.
So if that's settled, thank you, Marty. Can we get back to the intervention? Item 4. Be prepared to describe the consequences you personally are subject to because of the person's destructive behavior. Number 5. Invite the person to the meeting without telling him or her what it is.
Hot damn! That ought to go over big.
Jonas, can you control yourself?
Sorry, Mother Phillips. This intervention is getting funnier than I thought.
Martin.
I'll be as quiet as a clam.
Item 6. Have each member speak. Item 7. End the meeting with concrete next steps. Item 8. Assure the person that you will support him or her in his struggle to overcome his aberration. Now, why don't we have a sort of informal rehearsal? Marty, you start. What are you going to tell Leonard?
Me? I'm not going to tell him anything.
Are you going to help with your poor brother's aberration or not?
All right, I'll start by setting the tone, providing some background music for Leonard's aberration. It's
a wimpole.
Are you sure? Wait. I thought it was a Weemate. No, wait, that doesn't sound quite right either. Wait, let's go through the alphabet. Be, say, gay, may, pe, Ray! This is it. A Weemaway, in the jungle.
People, there's a shitload of garbled versions of it out there, but it was originally translated from Zulu in the 1930s as Awimowe.
Thank you, Mr. Fontaine Wagnalls. And will you please watch your language? I expect you to tell Leonard something helpful and to the point when he comes, and no funny jokes. Don't disappoint me, Martin. Are you prepared, Angie?
Well, I don't know. I'm afraid I'll be too critical and no one will respect my feelings.
Oh no, too critical. You, instead of criticism, you could honk your enormous sinuses at him.
Oh, will you be quiet?
Me?
No, you ninny, him. Angie, the point in an intervention is to be critical. The guidelines say he must reject what everyone says, may even get violent.
Oh, is Mr. Phillips often violent?
Good old Lenny. Violent? Not on your soft, shiny backside. He's about as mellow as they come.
Good. I mean, good, calm subjects are usually the most receptive.
Now, go ahead, Angie.
Well, maybe I'll start by telling him about how embarrassed I am by the way he dresses. Then I'll tell him about the ladies in my recipe exchange club don't invite me anymore because they all want to talk about him behind my back. Then I'll tell him I'm a nervous wreck, worrying that I might run into him in public, and how I had to take Xanax for my anxiety, and how it's a very dangerous drug and I shouldn't be taking it, and driving. Oh, and then I'm gonna have to tell him that he's ruining my marriage because Kenny's on the edge, the very edge of wondering if there's insanity in their family. Which there obviously is. And I can see Kenny looking for ways to get out of the house, worried that Lenny might show up. And what can Kenny do when he's out of the house? Nothing but drink and tell his trouble to girls who wear D-cup brassieres and still pooch out of them for everyone to see. And the other day, I caught Kenny looking through the yellow pages in the phone book under attorneys. I don't want to mention the horrible effects he has on the kids.
Oh, go ahead. Mention them. What would a family gathering be without you giving chapter and verse about those warped little mutants? I mean, seriously, my stomach has been much too settled for weeks. It's time for a little nausea.
My poor kiddos. Nicky has been brainwashed. He thinks it's neat to see his uncle looking like that, and his playmates follow Lenny around like rats at the Pied Viper. Scotty is totally confused. He keeps shouting, Hakuna Matata, when his teacher calls on him for recitation. And Idolus, she's so young, she doesn't know what to do. She just sucks her thumb and wets her bed, and the couch, and Kenny's shoes, and her car seat. The cook is okay. She talks nicely to Leonard when he comes over, and she's even learning a little bit of his new language. But she won't talk to me. She thinks I've caused Leonard to go off the rails.
Bent his bicycle chain.
Because I'm too careful about things.
Read careful. An obsessive compulsive, Doctor.
That's not so. I am not.
When Leonard comes to her house, she uses the intercom to make him identify himself.
This sounds like a reasonable precaution in this day and age.
Yeah, well, then he has to pass his documents through the mail slot.
Oh, well, that's perhaps a bit unnecessary to make your own brother identify himself.
Really? You think so? How about she makes her own mother show identification?
Listen, please. I know you all mean well, Mother Phillips, but this has not been well thought out. Can we please just sit down at the table over coffee and something and talk about it sensibly before leaping into action like idiots? You don't want to run the risk of hurting Leonard's feelings, do you?
I don't know what there's to talk about, Jordis. I'm sure we all have no intention of behaving like idiots. Leonard seems to have the lock on that game. What he's doing is obvious. That he has to stop doing it is eminently obvious. Well, it's all your father-in-law's fault. I told him to cancel his subscription to National Geographic, but he wouldn't listen. No. Right up until the day he died, he was getting that wretched magazine and passing it on to you boys. It's a wonder you're all so warped.
Look on the positive side, Mother. You wouldn't let us go to sex education classes, and so the National Geographic is all that we had to fill in the gap. I don't think looking at women wearing nothing but paint and cowrie shells on their tatas has set me off on a path of low morals and degenerative behavior.
Oh, fine. But what about your brother?
Well, true. He was admiring other bodies, but it's still harmless area of research.
What are tatas?
Breasts, my clueless sister. Look around, you may have some.
You were looking at bare breasts in National Geographic?
No, that's a joke. We were studying the migratory habits of the nocturnal wombat.
Oh, well, that's okay then.
Those photos have destroyed my respectable family.
How?
How? How? You see Leonard running around like this. Doesn't he embarrass you? What if he goes off the deep end and bites someone?
Even worse, what if Mr. Yankovic next door goes off the deep end with his 416 Rigby, and he's not known for cool judgment, you know?
Now, watch what you're saying, Martin. Frida Yankovic is my bridge partner.
I wasn't suggesting that Mrs. Yankovic had a screw loose, just Ted, her husband with the big gun fetish.
What's a Rigby?
It's what you use to shoot lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
Is Ted going to shoot Leonard?
It's possible, Angie. Very, very possible.
Oh my God. Mother, we must do something. We've got to do something.
Oh, hush up.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
But what are we going to do?
We are going to sue National Geographic. That's what we're going to do. Dr. Ransom, we can sue National Geographic, can't we?
Well, technically, anyone may sue anyone else, yes. However, we would first want to
Helen
know
and
when...
Angela, will you please get a grip? Leonard is nowhere near any deep end. He's perfectly content with what he's doing. He's quite happy, in fact. Nor is he destructive. The fact that Leonard's lifestyle affects his brother-in-law's equilibrium is Kenny's problem, not Leonard's. Kenny is an adult. He may think and behave however he wants.
All right. Kenny is an adult, but what about my children? How do I make Nicky stop following Leonard around as though he's something wonderful? I tell him not to, but he won't mind me.
Angela, it's not...
Are you trying to make this all sound so cut and dried? As though Leonard has done nothing wrong, as though disciplining children is nothing more than sitting down and having a nice little talk with them. It doesn't work that way. What am I supposed to do? Beat them? I can't stand it. I just can't stand it.
Now, see there, Jordis. Even talking about Leonard is damaging to his sister. Why do you want Angela to beat her children?
It's too late for that. But perhaps a swat on the diapers might have been helpful early on. I just can't do anything with Nicky. He just won't do anything I say.
So what?
He was only 2 years old when you were making those claims.
Well, he wouldn't.
Angela, you were bigger than he was.
You aren't serious about hitting children, Jordis.
Did you ever hit Leo? Or Marty? Or Angie?
Certainly not. Well, just with the back of a hairbrush.
Or a wooden spoon.
Or a broom handle?
Well, that was a different time. Much though you think it shouldn't matter, Jordis, Leonard's behavior does damage his family's social life.
What social life? Did I miss something? Are we being presented to the Queen? I don't think I'll make it. I get seasick.
Enough of this. Just enough. I'm canceling this intervention. When Leonard comes home, he's going to find his family having a lovely visit and wishing him well with his current personification.
His current personification is what the problem is.
No, it isn't, Helen. Leonard's personification is no worse than your insistence that you're 58.
I never.
Just relax, everyone. I'll get the damn coffee and cookies.
I really don't think at
Cookies,
all.
Helen!
Oh,
At last, cookies.
she's going to put out half and half, isn't she? She knows I can't digest cream. You'd think she'd keep 2% in the house for when I come, wouldn't you?
When was the last time you were here, Mother?
Last April. I was invited on April 1st, to be precise. And don't think I didn't read a lot into that.
I think that the 2% has become curds and whey by now, Mother. Did you notice any spiders sharing your tuffet?
Spiders? Spiders where?
Here's
Spiders? Well, why didn't you tell me you had spiders?
We don't have
Well,
spiders.
there's spiders all over here.
I don't see any spiders. Where did you see
There's
a
a giant one
spider?
right there beside me. Martin saw it.
Au contraire, Mother. I was merely quoting from a nursery rhyme alleging that you were as lovely as Miss Muffet, with her charms enough to attract even spiders.
Well, that wasn't very funny. You could have given me a stroke.
Have some coffee, everyone.
Have you set out real cream? I would hope you'd remember.
It's 2%, Helen.
And sweetener?
Choice, sugar or equal.
Well, it's about time people started remembering my dietary restrictions. If I'm careful with what I eat, I can live to enjoy a healthful old age.
What a delightful prospect. Many, many more years just to enjoy you.
I'll be right back with cookies.
Can I get you a cup of coffee, Mother, with 2% and equal?
I'll bet the coffee has caffeine.
Decaf.
I'll take a cup, just like Mother's.
Dr. Ransom?
No, thank you.
There you are, Mother. Angela?
Thank you.
These are not cups. Your father and I gave them a perfectly sensible set of cups and saucers as a wedding present. Why isn't she using them?
That was 6 years ago, Mother. Maybe you should have given them a dishwasher.
Here we are. Have a cookie. Or 4. Cookies, Helen?
No, thank you.
Oh, I insist.
Well, are there peanuts in here? You know, I think I'm allergic to peanuts.
They're macadamia nuts.
This cookie is dripping with butter.
It isn't dripping, and it's made with vegetable shortening. Excuse me, I'll be right back with some more.
No cookies, Dr. Redmond. Leonard's late. Jordis can't pull the wool over my eyes. She forgot to tell him the time, and now she's covering for herself. All these snacks she wants to feed us. We'll probably sit here until doomsday waiting for him to come home.
So why do baboons have red bums?
Caught up on the conversation, have we?
Don't be nasty.
It's all because of sex.
I don't believe it.
Martin, this is your sister.
I kid you not. It's like this. Here I am, a pretty lady baboon. I have lovely fur, I have a charming face and a pleasant voice. Woot, woot, woot. My desire is for some big, strong baboon stud to make love to me. How shall I let him know that I am ready and willing? Shazam! Nature does it for me. My backside swells up and turns bright red as I prance around through a group of my red bum, signaling to all the studly baboons that I am exactly what they desire. Oh yes, and then all of a sudden, this flirtatious lady baboon is surrounded by eager suitors. And that's the nature. The baboon dynasty continues. All because baboons have red bums when it's time for them to make little baboons.
Oh, Mother, she's choking.
Mother, what is it? Mother, what's wrong?
Come on, somebody do something.
We must apply the Heimlich.
You're not doing it right! You're not doing it right! Stop that! Stop it! Oh my gosh! Well, I think she's okay. She must have swallowed it. Oh my gosh!
Let's go!
Gladly.
Oh, company! How nice!
Curtain of the first act. Act 2 begins in about 5 seconds as the characters take their place. The show picks up right where it left off.
The whole family in one room. What a pleasant surprise. Mother, you look as youthful as ever.
Don't be ridiculous, Leonard. I'm 58.
Marty, it's so nice to see you. How are your classes? Are they still lapping up your words of wisdom?
No, sorry. The idiots will eventually send us back to the Middle Ages.
And why are you wearing a napkin on the other side of your lap?
Well, I was explaining the sex habits of baboons to Angela.
Angela? I didn't know you were interested in baboons. Or sex. We must talk sometime.
I am not. Mother almost died while Marty was talking about red bums.
Almost died?
Well, Jordis tried to feed her a cookie.
With a cookie? Oh, I've never heard of that before. How did you do it, sweetheart?
Oh, stop it! I choked on a piece of cookie. Angela is dramatizing as usual. Angela, why don't you clear your sinuses out and then pay attention? We have to do a you-know-what.
Angela, you look lovely. How are your delightful children? Oh, and Kenny. How is Kenny? Is it a happy family at your house?
Don't ask. Just don't ask. Kenny is sitting in bars making friends with Poochie teacups.
Oh, you poor thing. I'll have to sit down and have a talk with Kenny, see if I can be of any help.
No!
Maybe I can take the children for an outing and I can let you two have some private time. Sweetheart, do you think there are enough cookies here? Can we get some more?
Yes, we certainly do. But I was meeting with the opposition. I'll get some more right away.
No, Jordan, no cookies.
Yes, of course cookies, Mother. You all can't sit here with nothing to eat or drink. Here, I can get you ladies a cup of tea, coffee, whatever it is.
Can we get back to the matter at hand? Leonard, this man is Dr. Adam
Ransom.
Oh, Ransom. Well, he's a psychologist.
Oh, well, how do you do, Dr. Ransom? I'm glad you could come.
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry, watch the claws, they're sharp.
Dr. Ransom does not want any cookies.
Well,
I know. He doesn't want his stomach slowing down his reflexes when he does interventions.
oh, is Dr. Ransom planning on doing an intervention this afternoon?
Yes, he is. Some lucky person in this room is going to have an intervention.
Oh, who's the lucky person?
Don't look at me.
Ring, 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 ring. Oops, sorry. I think that's me. Well,
Ring, ring,
or not.
ring, ring,
Well, I suppose it could be mine.
ring, ring,
My phone is in my purse here somewhere.
ring, ring,
Not guilty.
ring, ring,
Is it yours, Leonard?
No.
ring, ring,
No, you haven't looked.
Oh, I'm not a ring.
ring, ring.
Excuse me?
Oh, my phone doesn't ring.
Are you saying you can't get calls because your phone won't ring? Well, you should call these telephone people and get that straightened out.
No, Mother. I'm saying my phone doesn't ring a ring.
Ring,
It
ring.
rings a roar.
Ring,
A ring, a roar, 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 a ring, a
You two come to your senses and behave like adults.
I'm so sorry, I forgot to turn this off.
Well, don't look at me.
Ring, ring.
It's Dr. Ransom that you're inconveniencing at $200 an hour.
Oh, Dr. Ransom, I'm so sorry. I completely
Ring,
forgot
ring.
to turn off my telephone. I apologize for inconveniencing
ring.
you at $200 an hour.
And for
Ring,
interrupting the you-know-what.
Ring,
What?
ring.
I know what. Oh, I get it, but I never liked it.
Would she have to apologize as much if we weren't paying Dr. Redmond or a ransom $70 an hour?
Now that is enough from all of you. We all know why we're here, and I want to see a group effort.
Ring, ring.
Oh, Jordis,
Ring,
will you
ring.
please answer that damn phone
Ring,
before
ring.
I burst a blood vessel? Oh, now look what you've made me do. Oh,
Hello? Hello? Oh, hi, Kenny. How are you? How are the kids?
am I the only one in this family with an attention span longer than a purse dog?
Oh, yeah, Kenny. Why are you calling my phone? Oh, she's looking for hers. Oh, hang on, I'll pass her mine.
Kenny? Is this you, Kenny? Can you speak up? Oh, dang, I'm sorry. I got coffee in my ears. I said I've got coffee in my ears. Just a minute. Georges, can you see what he wants?
Oh, let me. Whatever he wants. Hello?
No, get Lenny off the phone.
Why?
Get him off the phone.
Oh, no, not Lenny. Kenny, it's me again. I've got the coffee out of my ears. It's a long story. I'll tell you when I get home. We're in the middle of something here. What did you want? You can't find what? Well, there should be some right there in the medicine cabinet. Yes, that's what I mean. I don't know. Well, hang on, let me find out. Is aspirin an opioid?
No.
Oh, Marty says no, so hang on, I'll ask him. He'll know. Kenny, he's the smartest one in the family because he's been to college. Lenny went to college too, of course, but he studied people. No, you don't have to talk to him. Marty studied things. Oh, I'll get an answer from him. Oh, hold up. Kenny wants to know if you can list some opioids.
Why would Kenny want to know about opioids?
I don't know. Maybe he's writing a term paper.
Angela, Kenny's a trash hauler.
Sanitation engineer.
Okay. Why would a sanitation engineer want to know about opioids?
Lenny wants to know. He says it's none of your business.
Come on, gang. Whatever Kenny's got going on, he can't get into too much trouble. Maybe he's helping Nikki with his homework. Let's give him some answers. You want to give me the phone, Ange?
No.
All right, then tell him to write this down.
Okay, write this down.
The morphine series.
Morphine series.
Benzomorphins, phenylpharidines,
Phenylpharidines.
series of open chain opioids, the
chain.
opavine derivatives, the
Opa-
opioid peptides.
Oh, hold up. Kenny says that's enough. Anything more, Kenny? Okay, I'll call you if we go too late. Why wouldn't you answer? Are you going somewhere? All right. Well, you can call me. No, it's not a problem. Just call. We'll be doing anything other than sitting here and talking. Well, whatever you're up to, just don't make a mess. Bye. Mwah, mwah.
May we now get back to the subject? I don't want to be stuck in this intervention until 10 o'clock news.
Oh, that's right. You said you were going to do an intervention. Who's it for, Mother?
You, Leonard.
Me? An intervention for me? Well, that's very thoughtful of you, Mother. But why?
Don't be so naive, Leonard. Have you taken a good look at yourself lately?
Yes, I have. I look majestic. I look like the noblest of all the creatures. Observe this. Does that pose not say king? Will people not be cowed by the regal appearance of the king of the jungle? I not only look at myself often, I like what I see.
Lenny, you're beginning to scratch the hardwood flooring with your claws. You don't think that's harmful for your family?
They're my hardwood floors, Anne.
All right, everyone, please. I suggest we first see how deep Leonard's aberration lies. Now, Leonard, you believe you are a lion. Is this correct?
No.
No.
Well, obviously I'm not a lion. To think so would be crazy.
Huh. Since it would appear, Mrs. Phillips, that we are going to have to dig a little deeper into Leonard's psyche.
Oh dear. Is this going to cost more?
Hold your horses. Are you saying this will take longer because Lenny doesn't believe he's a lion?
I think Mr. Phillips doesn't think that he thinks he is a lion, when in fact he actually does think so.
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Phillips does actually think he's a lion.
No, I don't.
But, not being unintelligent, he realizes he shouldn't think that he thinks that he thinks that he doesn't think that he is a lion. So therefore, he consciously thinks that he doesn't think that he's a lion, when he actually does think that he is a lion.
I don't understand. So is Lenny actually a real lion?
Are you a real nitwit?
Don't be mean.
Don't be silly, any of you. I don't think any such thing.
Leonard, this is your mother talking.
Yes, Mother.
Regardless of who thinks what, these things you put on make you look ridiculous. The way you behave makes you look ridiculous. You are causing embarrassment for your whole family, and it's got to stop. We are paying Dr. Ransom exorbitant fees. All right, professional fees. To make you stop and to save us all this embarrassment. So I and your brother and your sister want to see you cooperate with Dr. Ransom and find a solution.
But Mother.
Don't but mother me. Just do what Dr. Ransom says.
Now,
All right. I'm going to feel ridiculous, but I guess it can't hurt.
now. I would like you to sit there, please. And I am going to ask you some questions. And I want you to answer them as though you are an actual lion.
Fine.
Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Leonard, how do you mark your territory?
What?
Where do you leave your spore?
Oh, no, good question. I've been experimenting with
The
that.
spear? Lions don't carry spears.
No, Mrs. Levitt. Spore, not spear.
Well, what's a spore?
Can you give a person no rest, Angela? Dr. Ransom is asking where Leonard poops.
Oh my God! Do we have to talk about that in an intervention? Like, nobody told me to be using the P word. Oh, I think maybe I should leave.
Angela, you're a grown woman with 3 children. What did you do? Make Kenny change all the diapers?
Oh, he didn't mind so much, you know.
Hey, that's all right, Angie. We'll be careful not to use any P words this afternoon.
Oh, Well, thank you, Lenny. That's
We-
very nice of you.
Wouldn't want to derail the intervention over semantics now, would we?
Oh, no problem, Doctor. In fact, it's a rather funny story. Can I give the whole story?
Absolutely! You are encouraged to do so.
Don't get in too deep, Leonard.
Oh, you just hush up.
Well, so I was thinking, if a real lion lived in this house, we would let him out every now and then, like a dog, you know. So I waited until nature called, and I scratched at the door to be let out, and Jordis opened the door for me. I walked away out to the back of the yard, and I hunched down to do my business. And just then, from out of the dark of his yard, my neighbors shouted, "Frida! Get my ring bait! Hurry up! That odd-looking thing is sneaking around the Phillips' backyard again!" I dived under a couple of rhubarb bushes, and I didn't breathe until Ted finally gave up looking for me. But by then, nature had called big time, and I raced for the house and enjoyed the pleasures of porcelain. Needless to say, I abandoned the dubious backyard experimentation after that.
Yes, all right then. Now, we'll try a different question. What do you eat? Remember, speaking as a lion.
Oh, I've been keeping to a steady diet of just meat. Beef and chicken and pork. But I want to try gazelle and zebra and maybe a wildebeest every now and then. It is unfortunate that the stores in town don't stock exotic meats. Jordis has checked every grocery store in a 15-mile radius.
I can find crab and mahi-mahi, shark and octopus and alligator tail, but nothing beefy, if that's the right word.
What's mahi-mahi?
It's a dolphin fish.
You mean people eat those cute little jumping fish?
Not dolphins, genius. Dolphin fish. They're totally different.
Then why do they call them the same thing?
Well, you see, way back in the Stone Age, they didn't have enough words to go around.
Martin.
I catch my own fowl. I have an agreement with a farmer outside of town. He lets me into his chicken and turkey pens.
And you crouch and eat them there?
Good Lord, have you ever stood in a chicken yard, Dr. Ransom? The droppings can get to be 2 inches deep, which I find pretty disgusting. A lion, however, has an olfactory organ on the roof of his mouth, called a Jacobson's organ, which gives him accurate detection of prey, mates, and what have you at great distances. So he has become accustomed to smelling everything.
So like the lion you are, then you have absolutely no difficulty tolerating this chicken yard.
No, Dr. Ransom. I thought we had this straightened out when you said I only think I'm a lion. I myself have difficulty tolerating a yard full of chicken poop. Oh, sorry, Angie. I'll be more careful. But actual lions, despite the fact that they can smell much better, they don't seem to be put off by really stinky situations.
Leonard, you told Dr. Ransom you didn't think you were a lion.
Well, I don't, you know. I'm working at understanding our fellow mammals, getting into their world. A variety of mammals. And right now, I'm inspecting lionhood.
But if you don't eat them, where do you find them?
You eat what? Where you find what?
Chickens, Angie.
The chickens are eating the lions?
Oh. Angie, why don't you sit very quietly and listen, and before you know it, the subject will just sneak right up on you.
I grab a couple of chickens by the neck, and I carry them to the local butcher shop to be cleaned and dressed.
Oh, Leonard, that ends up costing way more than if you just selected the chicken pieces you wanted from the supermarket freezer containers. You don't like drumsticks, do you? So when you go to the supermarket, just don't buy drumsticks. Oh, was that Martin who didn't like drumsticks? Oh, do you like drumsticks, Martin?
Who cares, Mother? I think it was Dad who refused to eat the chicken, and you always had to bake a small ham, especially for him, and we kids had to eat the drumsticks.
Is that where this all came from? I thought I didn't like drumsticks because they looked just like Darlene Cameron when she was standing sideways in her yellow Torador pants with her scrawny bony chicken legs sticking out down below.
I don't like dark meat, Mother. If drumsticks came in light meat, I would like them.
So what is the problem? Take off this silly costume and just buy pork. Pork is all light meat, isn't it? Well, isn't it?
Did we have a subject when we started this afternoon?
Don't be a smart mouth. Just answer the question. Is pork light or dark meat?
It's both, like chicken.
Pig meat is like chicken meat? I thought frog legs tasted like chicken.
It doesn't really matter! I am simply attempting to discover if Leonard's usual diet conforms more or less to his belief that he is a lion.
But I don't believe that I'm a lion. I'm just pretending to be a lion to see what it feels like.
Leonard, no one in his right mind pretends to be something else. Just to see what it feels like. That's crazy.
Oh, Mother. How can you say that when you and your friends spend almost every afternoon having tea with the biggest pretender in town?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about your friend, Artur Chesowitz.
Well, I don't know anyone by that name.
Sure you do, Mother. Your fake Prince Orlovsky.
Prince Victor Orlovsky is a very cultured gentleman, a former member of the deposed Romanov family.
Artur Chesowitz, who introduces himself as Prince Orlovsky, never lived within 300 miles of St. Petersburg and had no acquaintances with the Romanovs.
Prince Orlovsky is second cousins to the Tsarina herself, and gracious enough to associate with us, commoners, as though we were his equals.
Artur Chesowitz, a.k.a. Prince Orlovsky, has no royal blood, no money. All he has is a lot of gall and a phony Russian accent and one mothy old Eton uniform.
Surely you don't mean to deny a poor expatriate the courtesy of our society.
No, not at all. I'm trying to understand your definition of someone in his right mind. Is a man who pretends that he's being a lion crazier than a man who pretends to be a Romanov? At least lions don't ask you to pick up the tab for lunch.
That's you all over, Martin, comparing apples to oranges. I would find it very exciting to attend a fundraising ball with Count Orlovsky, but never that.
Mother, don't make a federal case of this. I'm not crazy. I'm just trying to understand the relationship between animals and humans. We eat animals, pigs for instance. But do we have any idea how the pig feels about it?
Don't be ridiculous, Leonard. Why would a pig want to eat us? The pigs of the world can rest assured that I don't want to eat them. Don't do that. You all know what I mean. It's okay to eat a pig who's been properly skinned, cleaned, and had 8 hours in the crock pot.
Assuming the crock pot is big enough to hold a pig.
Assuming the pig doesn't mind.
Don't talk about that. We're having pulled pork sandwiches for dinner tonight, and Kenny is going to cook the pig on our big gas barbecue.
Assuming the gas grill is big enough to hold a pig.
Assuming the pig doesn't mind.
Assuming the pig doesn't mind. Assuming the pig doesn't mind. We're talking pigs here, aren't we? Dirty, muddy, stupid animals. What do we care if he minds or not?
What's our premise here? It's okay to eat pigs as long as they're not as clever or sophisticated as we are?
Forget the pigs. How about a thick T-bone? Rare.
Oh, I'm not accustomed to rare meat yet. I think my next step is steak tartare.
Now, I think we have gotten just a bit off this subject here. All right? Our premise is whether Leonard is one sandwich short of a picnic or not. Excuse me, that was not very professional. I meant to say whether Leonard was fully convinced that he was a lion or not, even though he seems to think he isn't when he obviously thinks he is because he dresses like he is.
That should be easy. Science tells us that the male lion's willy is remarkably large and long for that species. All Lenny has to do is settle the issue, is to, let Free Willy out, and so we can check out its size.
His Willie? Has Lenny gotten a dog?
Yes, Yes, he has, and he's going to show it to us, and we're going to decide if he has a pit bull or a chihuahua.
Martin! One more disrespectful remark to your sister, and you're gonna have to go sit in the car.
There I am, 3 years old again.
I don't get it. What's a Willie? Does Lenny have a dog or not?
Willie is a comic name for a man's penis, Angie. Now sit back and be quiet, and I'll have to ask you to go sit in the car.
Well, excuse me for being so dumb.
Well, if that's really all it takes to settle this whole thing.
No, don't you dare.
But Mother, it's nothing you haven't seen every bath night for all those years.
Oh, not since you were 4 years old.
And that's when you thought it was a submarine.
Well, here's Jordis. She can testify as to whether or not I'm a lion or a purse dog.
Oh, no, you don't. I'm not going to just sit here and officially examine Mr. Willie in front of all of these people. I've seen it 1,000 times before, and I can swear that it's a standard golden retriever.
That is not very helpful.
Fine, you show me how, Helen.
Oh, Jordis, I can make you go sit in the car, too.
All right, let's not worry about this Billy problem. There are other tests that we can try. Now, why don't we try the sympathetic understanding syndrome?
What's that?
It is merely the simple old trick of putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Now, let me show you. Everyone, close his eyes.
Her?
I beg your pardon.
Everyone close her eyes and think.
Everyone close his or her eyes and think.
Oh, for pity's sake.
Oh, will everyone here, he, she, or it, just close his or her eyes. Go ahead, Dr. Ransom.
Thank you. Each of you, please imagine that you are an animal. Perhaps your favorite animal. Now, we know Mr. Phillips here imagines he is a lion. Now, I said imagines, not believes. Now, what would you be if you were an animal, Mr. Martin Phillips?
Well, I'd be a bottlenose dolphin because they're one of the most intelligent animals on Earth.
Well, that is stupid. You wouldn't have any hands and your feet would always be wet. And you wouldn't get any service in restaurants.
For pity's sake.
All right, then, I'd be a rat. You can always find one of those in a restaurant.
Oh, ew.
A rat! Good. Good. Rats are very intelligent. Yes, yes. Now you, Mrs. Levitt, what animal would you be?
I don't even have to think, because I would be a ballerina.
Actually,
An
Mrs. Levitt.
animal, Angie. I pick an animal.
All right. I will be a little brown mouse.
Ah, a mouse. Is there any problem with her being a mouse?
You seem to forget you have driven the rest of the family to the verge of a breakdown over your fear of mice.
Well, if I'm going to learn sympathetic understanding, I should be something I hate. Right, Dr. Ransom?
Well, that's not quite what the...
I hate mice.
Good. This is good. Yeah. I'm sure being a mouse will lead you to a great insight. Now you, Mrs. Phillips.
Yes. I think naturally I would be an owl.
Because you only come out at night and eat mice?
Don't be disgusting. Because owls are the wisest of all creatures, of course.
Thank you, thank you. We have a rat, an owl, a mouse, a lion, and that leads us with you, Mrs. Phillips. What animal would you be?
You You all think you're so smart, but you will have to guess. But not yet. Yeah, not yet. Just wait a minute.
All right. Yes.
Wait a minute. Wait for it.
All right.
Jordis.
Yes. I see the 2 pencils there. Yes.
Squeak! Squeak, squeak, squeak! Come on. What am I?
A funny pig.
No. Think. Squeak! Squeak, 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 squeak!
Pencils?
Are you even trying? Come on. This isn't
2
that hard.
broken pencils?
Tusks! Those are tusks! You're
A wild pig!
Close. No cigar.
You're a javelina.
Yes.
What's a javelina? Looks like a wild pig to me.
That's a nice javelina.
Actually, although javelinas look like wild pigs, they're not pigs at all. They're actually collared pecaries, not members of true pig families. They're called javelinas because of their razor-sharp tusks, named after the Spanish word javelin, which is javelin, which means spear.
Our thanks again to Mr. Funton Wagnalls. I suppose next you're going to tell us how to barbecue one.
Actually, although many southwestern tribes learned how to make a tender stew, but
Enough! This intervention is totally out of control.
Patience, Mrs. Phillips. Having identified our personal identity animals, we can now move on to self-realization of Leonard's aberration.
Self-realization. I realize myself just fine.
do we get to debate that?
It's my son who thinks he's an oversized cat.
Sweetheart. It's me.
Aw. There. Now, quiet. Pay attention.
All right, bear with me now, all of you. Please. I want each of you close your eyes, relax, and behave like the personal animal you have chosen. All right? We will take this one at a time. The younger Mr. Phillips, you are a rat. So what position would you spend most of your time in?
I'm wondering if I shouldn't have been happier doing a baboon encore. Oh well, never mind. Maybe I'll learn something from Ratus.
There you are, a rat in a suburban living room. Are you wary of all these other animals?
Yes.
Yes! Where would you hide?
This looks like an excellent hiding place for Martin Ratus.
Yes! Now, then, Mrs. Phillips, you are a wise old owl.
Excuse me.
I beg your pardon, a wise young owl at the peak of your mental powers. Where are you most likely to be found during the day?
It's my bridge club.
Concentrate, Mrs. Phillips, please, concentrate. You would not want to waste your powers on a game. You would conceal yourself in a tree, listening and watching for dinner once it gets dark. Now, can you get in your tree?
What?
Get in your tree! Whoop, whoop.
Ooh.
Yes, fly right up there. Look down on the rest of the animals.
Ooh. Oh. Ooh. 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 Oh, I can't do this.
Maybe if you loosened your corset, Mama.
Angela, I do not wear a corset.
I'm sorry, Mama. I didn't know it was a secret.
Wretched girl. You know what owls do.
Ah,
Yes.
Don't let her get me!
Here I come to get the nice tender mouse and gobble it up.
Leave her alone, owl! How would you like it if you were being chased by a spider?
Spiders! Where? Where are spiders?
What, don't you mean who? Who? That got you up in the tree pretty fast, didn't it?
Wait.
Ratatus!
As Angela squeaks and screams and screams around in circles.
Stop! You're doing this all wrong. Now, you are very enthusiastic. This is good. It's very good. But I have made a miscalculation. I should have factored in what a desperate family this is. And I should have neutralized the differences. I should have asked you all to be lions.
Are you insulting us? At $200 an hour?
No. No! No. 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 Now, I am complimenting this family for being such distinct personalities.
You mean fruitcakes?
No! You're just fine. You're perhaps a little. All right, you're
Oh, for pity's sake.
quieter.
We don't need any more lions. All we need is to get rid of Leonard's lion. Can we please quit fooling around and get this intervention over with? Dr. Ransom, for $200 an hour, can't you simply hypnotize Leonard and tell him he's not a lion?
I don't know. Hypnotize, you say? That would take a certain amount of preparation, you know. Hypnotize? No. That would take at least another 4 hours.
It wouldn't. Well, just a week ago, we saw a stand-up comic on television take people from the audience and convince them they were chickens without any preparation.
All right. Maybe you have a point. Instead of us all being different animals, we're all going to be the same animal.
Oh, how exciting. I can help. See?
What do you have here?
Oh, I got these on sale.
Huh. All right. Why do you have them all, though?
Well, you see, I always hoped that I would form a whole pride of lions someday, and I wanted to be prepared.
Like gay pride? Like a parade?
Angie, a group of lions is called a pride.
Are they gay lions?
Only if they use eyeliner.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, do shut up, Angela.
I just didn't think, I would like to be a chicken, Mother. No.
Leave him alone, Mother. Leonard is a lot more fun now than he was before.
Trust me, Mr. Phillips. I believe this last attempt is going to be successful. Now, we can all work together at developing a deeper understanding with your brother as to why he is a lion. So, now, forget what you were before. Forget all of those animals. We are all going to be lions.
I do not wish to be a lion. This is an intervention for Leonard, who does wish to be a lion. I am paying $200 an hour to make sure Leonard no longer thinks that he is a lion. I think it is perverse for you to suggest that we all be lions.
Mrs. Phillips, sit here. Everyone, sit here. Facing me. Now, clear your minds. Think of nothing. Let yourself be completely blank.
That shouldn't be difficult for some of us.
Martin. Oh, put those on. Put those on.
Yes, you were giving them out. Why?
Oh, well, won't the hypnotic suggestion be even more helpful or powerful if everyone was wearing the same thing, including you?
Very well. I guess it couldn't hurt. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. Everyone is sitting, facing out. Now, clear your mind. Let yourself be completely blank. Each of you is a soft lion with tawny fur.
No, soft and warm fur.
You have a lovely, long mane that is the envy of all creatures in the jungle.
How did you make them do that?
It's merely a question of mind over matter. Hush. Everyone, let the force of your brain dictate what should be happening. Your gestures, yes, your gestures are for the sake of showmanship. Go ahead, yes, try it.
You feel like giving a mighty roar so the jungle knows that the king is here.
Roar!
Oh, everyone roar! Did I do that? Oh, that's amazing. Hey, why are we all acting like humans anyway? 4 feet the way that it should be.
Stop chewing.
With roars of the lion begins to Ellen the lion begins stalking Dr. Ransom, who cowers and runs around trying to hide from her. Or mocking the lion gives a swipe at Angela the lion, who surprises him by peering up her back and paws hissing, ready to give him a fight. The movement and noise continues as the phone rings. Ring, ring, and continues to do so until the lights fade out.
I told you I did that.